This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Uncle Geeb Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Host Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You also become a member of this podcast, and you get extra podcast content every single month. Guys, we got a ton to talk about tonight. There is too much to talk about. There's a Unity controversy going on right now we need to get over. Nintendo hired a machine learning specialist. There's a huge leak from Microsoft that involves Nintendo, which is probably, guys, this might be the biggest leak in gaming of all time. I mean, I can't think of anything bigger, but only time will tell. Drip. Dude, there's so much to go over, man. But first, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Geeb. It's been a good week. Stuff's happened. There's stuff to make videos about, which is always fun. I mean, I guess there always is, but at least this is very interesting stuff. Lots of stuff happened. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I said earlier in the pre-show, I was like, yeah, my power went out this week. The water went today. The water main break happened, and I was sitting down here, not being able to do a whole lot because I was dirty from cutting the grass and sweaty.
Your life sounds like a country song right now. Just want to throw that out there.
When the power was out, I was feeling like a little country bumpkin. Dude, what else am I supposed to do out here? There's no power.
Well,
get my banjo flat.
I got grass on my shoes and I got no water. The power got turned off.
Oh, and I had to shave with the water off, because I have to shave right now, or else I'm not gonna have any time.
Shave with the water
I'm
off.
sitting there with my filtered cup of filtered water, my shaving cup and shaving cream all over me, and I'm wiping off with a towel. I felt like I was like dry shaving from a Western movie or something. That's how it felt.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like a Western. I mean, this is perfect for your country song. It all fits. So
yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that. That is rough.
No, listen, absolutely not a problem. I know there's plenty of people out there who can't afford their electric bills, or don't have any running water. And I'm not trying to complain.
At least you got some.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's been a rougher week than normal. But I'm going to manage. I know tomorrow I'll make a little announcement for the people on the podcast. If you guys are fans of Greta Van Fleet, Mrs. G's birthday tomorrow, and her best friend got her and I tickets to go see Greta Van Fleet in Indiana.
Happy birthday, Mrs. G.
Happy birthday, Mrs. G. So yeah, we're going to be hanging out tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun. We got a 4-hour drive up here from northern Illinois down to Indianapolis, Indiana. We got a hotel we'll be staying at.
It's going to be
a ton of fun. I can't wait to just kind of take a day and a half and just, I guess, the rest of Saturday too. Just kind of do nothing and hang out with her for her birthday. So that'll be a ton of fun. Drip, I'm going to introduce 2 segments right now. We're going to go back to back with these segments.
All right.
So the first segment is going to be, I've done it before in the past, Drip and G poll question. We put a poll question out just about every single week. If you're not aware, on the YouTube channel, if you go to our main page and click tab over to community, you can see a bunch of posts that go over there, as well as if you're a member, you see extra posts. But you also see poll questions, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the poll question that happened this week on the podcast. The question was, Drip, do you own any Nintendo consoles besides the Switch? And I thought this was really interesting because out of 137 votes, only 23% of people have only a Nintendo Switch. I would have thought that number would have been way, way higher, but that kind of...
See, I would have thought it would have been way lower, honestly.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I
feel like to most people, the Switch is like a secondary thing.
Yeah. No, I don't.
For you and I think it's a little bit different. Like a PC or I don't know, even to my PlayStation, honestly, is kind of a secondary thing.
Yeah.
To most people, I feel like it'd be opposite. So that number actually surprises me. The opposite reason that it surprises you.
Well, okay, so let me go over the numbers. 23% only have a Switch. Excuse me. Little belch. Excuse me. 23% also said they have. This was including. So the question was based if you have a Switch. So 23% have a Switch and an Xbox, but that's it. Only 17%. This is really surprising to me. Only 17% have a Switch and a PlayStation. That's crazy to me. I really thought PlayStation and Switch is the perfect kind of system.
I
double
do feel, yes,
go.
I feel. I mean, obviously, I have all of them, but I use my Xbox like never.
Yeah. And then 36% have multiple, including the Switch. So I guess that kind of means all three, we'll say. But the comments, well, I'll shout out some names here. Naturally Yours, Chow. What's up, Chow? Infinite Curly. All you guys, I see you guys commented on the poll. Thank you for that. But yes, then the comments ranged from I only have a Switch because of financial reasons, or I have the one person, I can't remember who, they listed a bunch. Actually, I can tell you who because it's right here in front of me. Infinite Curly. Like that's like Switch, PS5, Xbox One, which is interesting, GameCube, PlayStation, a PC, PlayStation Vita, Game Boy Color. And I'm sure there's probably one or two more they didn't mention, but again, wide range of things here. I really would have thought the majority would have been just Nintendo, especially for our audience. But then again, like you said, Drip, I'm really not that surprised at the end of the day because the Switch is most people's secondary console.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Interesting stuff there, Drip. Interesting stuff indeed.
Quite.
Thank you guys for participating in the polls. We do that every single week, so make sure to head to the YouTube channel and vote on those polls. Another segment I want to introduce this week, Drip. I'm not sure what to call it. For now, we're going to just call it Switch Game of the Month. And we usually, sometimes you and I will do like, hey, what game are you playing right now? But I think right now we're going to do something more like this, where it's a game that you might be playing, but also is a game that maybe isn't even out yet, but you're excited for. So I'm going to let you start, Drip. I believe this game that you're talking about is not even on Switch, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it's on Switch. I played it today for the first time.
But that's okay.
I only played one round.
But that's okay. For that reason, that I made that poll for a reason. I wanted to see how many people out there have other stuff, and maybe we can sprinkle in. We can feel free to sprinkle more stuff in that's not necessarily only Nintendo. Like, for example, the Game of the Month thing. So we can bring awareness to games that are on other platforms as well. So Drip. And I think this game's coming to Switch anyway, but Drip, what's this game you're talking about?
It's Party Animals. It just came to Game Pass. I just said I haven't been playing my Xbox at all, but technically I didn't play this on my Xbox. I played it on the cloud on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. I don't know if you've seen it. It is so funny. You get to just be like an animal, but they're like ragdoll type, and oh my god, it's so funny. I was laughing so hard, but then I had to come down here. That's probably what I'm gonna do when I'm done. I'm gonna go get in bed and play more Party Animals. It is actually it is very funny. It is hilarious. And where did we see that?
I think
we saw that somewhere. Was it the Game Awards?
Yeah, you said that.
Was it a direct or was it the Game Awards? I don't remember where we saw it first, but I know you and I both said like that was hilarious. That was really really funny. I got to play it today. It's good. I was a unicorn. I decided to go with the unicorn.
Okay.
It's got
ragged. It's like a fighting game, a team fighting game, battle royale fighting game.
What I played was I was like in this winter area, and you have to fight to stay close to the fire. If you get away from the fire, like you turn to ice, and people are like punching you, and they can like pick you up and throw you. But it's like you're a person wearing like one of those big mascot suits,
right?
But they're all like.
Yeah, ragdoll physics.
It's really funny.
Ragdoll physics is something that I think is a way to describe it, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's good though. What about you?
The game that I had there's actually a couple of games, but for now I'm going to start with this one because of this number one reason right here. I'm actually gonna. You can't hear Drip. I apologize, but I'm gonna just play real quick a little sound clip for everybody. Here we go.
Oh, I can do that right here. Is that the game you're talking about?
Why'd you ruin? I had this perfectly set up, and you literally ruined it. I had it perfect, and you ruined it.
I'm sorry.
I hate you. Sorry. I hate you forever. Drip, shut up. Don't never speak again. In a world where there's a game that's inspired from the 80s, that game shall be called Myth Force. Myth Force. Have you heard of Myth Force, Drip?
Oh yeah, I was in a direct. June.
So it's like an eight. It's like a. It's an. The game
like a Saturday morning cartoon type thing.
Exactly. It's supposed to resemble a Saturday morning cartoon from around the 80s, based off the music and the graphics and the visuals. It's a first-person melee roguelike. And these are words that I don't understand because I don't understand these words that people talk about in gaming. I read that off of the YouTube thing, the YouTube thing.
At least you're honest.
Oh, dude, I've said on the podcast many times. I don't even know what you categorize Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom as. Like I just not a guy who like understands the language of gaming like that. It's like doctor talk to me. I'm like, what in the crap? Like melee means fight, first person is the camera angle, and roguelike is I don't know. So like that's where I'm at with that.
So this is a game that you're interested in playing. You have not played it yet.
Exactly.
Is it out?
I don't believe it even comes out. Or excuse me, I'm not sure if it's even out yet. It might be. But regardless whether it's out or not, I have not picked it up yet. It's on my wish list. I will pick it up at some point. I'm just looking forward to it. Again, like these games we can mention in this segment is stuff we either looking forward to, haven't played or played, whatever. I'm just looking forward to it. I think the idea of it being like a cartoon, especially from the 80s.
It looks cool.
Just looks interesting.
One of the June Direct that I also agree. I think it looked interesting.
So yeah, keep your guys out for Myth4, guys. Again, this is not sponsored or anything like that. It's just something I want to keep my eye on as a fan of the Switch and stuff like that. I'm interested. Thank you, Mrs. Geeb, bringing me some water. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Again, Myth4, so I want to check it out. And then Party Animals sounds pretty cool too, Drip.
Yeah, Party Animals is on Game Pass. So if you got Game Pass, you can go play it right now.
Yes. So
actually, we could play together if you have Game Pass.
That's right.
You can be friends. You can play online.
I have Game Pass for another few days before it gets canceled. I already canceled it before I lose access, I should say. So yeah, maybe we could play that at some point before my Game Pass gets out.
It's good. It's good.
Excuse me. Sorry, I had to drink some water. So, Drip, that leads me to our first little topic of the evening here, and there again we talked about in the opening. There is so much tonight. There's just a crazy amount, but we'll start off with it's not a game developer. It is a game engine. Is that correct, Drip?
Yes.
Unity.
It is. Yeah, that is a game engine. I got to be honest. I don't know a ton about this whole contract. I know they're trying to charge. You know a little bit more about it than I do, so you're gonna have to tell me about it.
Sure.
I have opinions on it, but I just don't. I don't know the full story.
Yeah, I don't really know an absolute bunch about it. I just know like some basic stuff, and I know that they're kind of backtracking. So, to my understanding, and I won't get into details and specifics because I'm not like up to date with them. But basically, excuse me. I'm not sure why dinner is suddenly coming to, or my lunch is starting to come up right now, but it is. My apologies. So Unity is basically going to be charging the developers a small fee. It's like fractions of a penny or something like that. Again, I won't get into specifics, but they're going to charge a small transaction per download. And the initial announcement was that even if it was re-downloaded a second time by the same person, let's say they download it, delete it, re-download it again,
or got a new
or got Game Pass, or all the Game Pass downloads as well.
Yeah,
those
they have
all
to
count.
pay for that as
well. Every time
a
user downloads the game that uses the Unity engine, there'd be a fee associated with it.
That is absolutely insane.
Free to play, paid, doesn't matter. DLC of a game, all of it.
Because
all
think about this.
Is a charge.
Was it you telling me this, or did I hear this somewhere else? Think about the way that people go like review bomb games.
Yes.
Because they don't like the developer or something, it's whatever. Imagine if they went online and started telling people, no, just download it and then delete it and keep downloading it, so they have to pay a fee.
Yep, that's a real
destroy somebody like that.
Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a definite possibility that could happen.
Yeah, that's
people
insane.
Are assholes out here, and
that's what I'm saying. Like that just that gives people a weapon to use against the developer that's trying to use your engine.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it was never a good idea. It was, who knows the exact reason besides money that they were doing this, but clearly it's a big cash grab by Unity. And it's a power move for some reason, as if there aren't other game engines out there. And I heard that one of my favorite games, actually, did I not rate it number 2 or 1 best game of 2022 for me? Cult of the Lamb.
You did like that one.
They're threatening to delete the game off of everywhere. The developers said, look out, we're probably going to delete our game by the end of the year, so download it now before we delete it from all listings everywhere, which is insane.
Wow.
Like that's how they feel about it, which I completely respect that, and I hope they do what they feel like they need to do, and because that's crazy that they're going to be charged per download. And not only that, but it's like public knowledge, like you said, it could be used as a weapon. And it's like that.
Yeah.
For that reason alone, it should never have been even announced to the public, let alone, but that's the whole point.
It shouldn't be happening anyway.
Exactly. It shouldn't be happening, but it was probably announced to the public for that reason. So it can be used as a weapon right now, as like to say, hey, this is insane. This is what's going to happen to us. Help us out. The world.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's why. I mean, yeah. That's why people are talking about it now. I mean, it's not like there aren't other options.
Right.
I mean, Unreal Engine 5 at this point, and who owns Unreal Engine? Epic owns Unreal Engine. They do all kinds of cool stuff. You put your game as an exclusive on like the Epic store. I'm pretty sure they do all kinds of awesome stuff for you. Like I don't even think you have to pay to use the engine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And so again, that was the first bit of news, but then an update happened kind of a few days after. So believe it or not, Unity didn't like the negative press that was coming their way regarding their decision.
Oh, they didn't? No.
So
weird.
Here's a tweet from Jason Schreider. Scoop in a company all hands meeting, which by the way, I call all hands on meetings are the dumbest fucking thing ever. I had so many all hands meetings at Amazon. It was just dumb.
They actually call it that?
They call them all hands meetings. It's like a new industry term, like a new trendy industry term for like just giving your employees an hour of rest, from work as we talk together in a room. In our case, it was in the freaking cafeteria. Gave us the cafeteria chair to sit on for an hour and a half. Anyway, all hands on.
Wonderful.
It's triggering for me when I hear all hands. It's very triggering. In a company-wide all hands meeting this morning, game tech maker Unity addressed the pay per install debacle and floated several big changes to the controversial new policy, including a 4% cap on fees and customer self-reporting installations. That second part, customer self-reporting installations, not entirely sure how that goes into full. There's a Bloomberg article that I don't have.
Does that mean they're expecting someone who re-downloads the game to get a hold of Unity and be like, hey, just want to let you know this is my second time downloading it, so don't charge them for that one? Yeah. Is that really what that means?
Maybe.
That's absolute insanity.
I don't know. But then the 4%.
That's how I take that. I don't know if that's what it is, but
I don't know.
Whoa.
The 4% cap is kind of silly as well, because that is still millions and millions of dollars for, let's say, like a free-to-play game. Like a free-to-play game that gets so many crazy amounts of downloads and microtransactions and everything. They're very profitable. So like a 4% cap on is just like an insane amount of money even still. So like, it's basically all this to say is that it's not enough, and the fact that they're
it's not even close.
The fact that they're walking this back and trying to fix it is just is telling, and should tell you all you need to know is that this was it should tell them all they need to know is that they just made a bad decision to begin with. And they should really just kind of 100%. It should go a 180 and reverse the decision completely and go, we apologize. We are sorry. We would love to gain your trust back. Instead of, well, okay, a 4% cap. And like the people who download the games, they'll just tell us that how many times they download it and we won't charge them.
I wonder if that's really what that means, because that's absolute, that's crazy. Come on. Like that's more of a slap in the face than doing the whole thing in the first place. It's like, no, it's cool. Just have your people, if they download it again, just have them call us.
Yeah, because trusting random people always goes well.
Just nobody's going to do that anyway.
Blindly trusting somebody's word without actually knowing is a great idea. Because don't you think they should know how many downloads an individual is downloading? Shouldn't they have that information somewhere?
It's just something they shouldn't be doing. It's insanity that this is even a thing. Seriously, besides just being absolutely greedy, on what planet do a group of people sit around and say this is totally a good idea, other than we're gonna make money? But there's absolutely, I cannot how are they even justifying? Is there anything out there where they say, well, we need to do it for this reason or that? Is there anything?
I mean, if they're afraid of going under because it's for money, this is for money. There's no way to look around. They need more money.
Yeah.
So if they were to say, hey, we're afraid of going under and we need to recoup some more money, that's one thing. I didn't see it. Not that they would make it right,
No, but there's so many different ways to do that. Just raise your prices a little bit.
Yeah, and also to be fair, I also didn't look crazy hard into it, so I'm not trying to give you guys any inaccurate information. I'm not intentionally giving you less information. I just don't know a ton about it. I think it was interesting to bring it up, and there's so much more to talk about tonight that like I could only go this far with this topic because there's so much more to talk about tonight.
There is.
But before we move on, we had a comment here from our guy Switch Corner, member of the channel, friend of ours. Self-reporting installs means the developer. Sorry, let me just restart. Self-reporting installs mean as the developer, you tell Unity how many installs it has. So they basically Unity is saying we're going to trust the developer to tell us how many downloads there are.
Yeah, because that's a great idea too. We're going to totally try to fuck you over, but it's cool. Because you can just like
you can fuck yourself.
You'll tell us the truth. You'll tell us the truth. Because we're not pissing you off in any way. It's fine. Totally trust you to tell the truth. Yeah, okay. It's got 4 downloads. It's got 4. All year. Yeah, that's right. All year.
We made millions of dollars,
bad,
but it's only
so please just leave us alone. 4 downloads. What do you want? How much is that? Like 60 cents? You got it? You good? In cash? Okay.
Can I give you a cashier's check, please?
Do you have change for a 20? I mean, I don't know, man. It's all absolutely stupid.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. It's so dumb.
It's dumb. Unity, fuck off. What are you doing? Speaking of what are you doing, Nintendo. What are you doing, Nintendo? I don't know. That was a bad segue. It doesn't mean anything. Nintendo, guys, is they're kind of proving everybody's speculation right here. I wish I actually do. I have the actual listing itself. I should see if I have, because the job listing itself. Wait, I think I might have it.
I sent you a link.
I have it right here. I'm gonna show the people right now. Sorry for you audio listeners only. Apologies. Here it is. It's very small. Actually, let me make it a little bigger.
Oh, that is very small type. I can see it on. That is small.
So the job listing, guys, is for contract. So it's a contract position. Data engineer, embedded systems, NTD. Basically,
so contract is like what? It's not like a full time, all the time thing, right? That just means you're coming in to do some work and then you're done.
Exactly. So
okay.
The position. Actually, I'm gonna backwards here. Go backwards in the article. Nintendo is looking for a data engineer. For machine learning, which basically is kind of proving our thoughts right that DLSS is absolutely coming to the next Switch. Not that I had any personal doubts on it, but this is kind of confirming that they're looking into machine learning in general, and we don't know exactly. Because of course, that job listing is going to get very specific. They're not going. It's not going to say for upcoming Nintendo Switch releases, we would like to have DLSS technology implemented with machine learning. It's not going to say anything like that in the job listing. But we can all assume that we kind of understand what the job listing means based off the positioning and everything like that, what they're hiring for. So yeah, Drip, what do you make of this opening in the position?
Okay, well, 2 things. One thing, I did want to put this up from Mega Boyd. He says Nintendo of America ain't doing anything but marketing, which is true. This is what kind of threw me off about this article in the beginning, is because it says specifically Nintendo of America is hiring this. But I mean, either way, I mean, what else would it be for? It literally, the job listing literally says what it's for. It's for a Switch. Basically, they basically describe a Switch is what you'll be working on. But the fact that it's in America, it is kind of weird. It's strange. I don't quite get that. But I mean, people have been talking about this DLSS stuff for like years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Years.
And I mean, I don't know. It's nice to see an actual, something like this coming up, because, we keep hearing, oh yeah, it's going to be in the Switch. It's not going to be in the Switch. It is. And it definitely is. And, you hear things, this, that, whatever. I feel like this kind of confirms, like, yeah, they're hiring people who need to know about this stuff for a specific reason. They wouldn't be hiring somebody specifically to do this stuff if it didn't have to do with what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, it just kind of confirms what we kind of hoped was going to be in the Switch, which is DLSS. So,
yeah,
that's great.
I'm still I'm held up on this. What a good comment, because I never even stopped to consider that it's Nintendo of America.
That it's America. Yeah, I know.
And Full Metal asks if you guys are like Full Metal and you know have the same question. Maybe American because that's where all the AI stuff's coming out of. I mean, I'm not professional. I can't say yes or no to that, but what I can say is that definitely no, in my opinion, because Nintendo of Japan, which is not what it's called Nintendo. You know, Nintendo, not of America, is making the games. They're the ones developing out there, and there's no way that.
Oh yeah, and they're making the system there too.
Exactly, they're physically as well as software. It's all happening there in Japan. There's no way that Nintendo America is associated with that in any way. They're basically, and you know, don't disrespect, they're a translation company. You know, and then marketing.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
marketing. So like, the marketing has nothing to do with, you know, DLSS software in the next upcoming Switch. So
okay, well, then let's talk about this, because I mean, I'm talking like, okay, yeah, it's because it's stuff they're gonna have to deal with the new Switch. Let's say it's not. Let's just say that's not what this job is even for. My question is, what would they be doing at Nintendo of America with machine learning and DLSS?
I don't know, man, but the more I look at this, and I looked at this a few days ago as well, this is a really interesting sentence. We at Nintendo are looking for a data engineer to help with integration of machine learning technologies on low-power embedded platforms.
Yeah.
Are they
Switch?
My only thought is maybe they're looking for specifically Americans. They're looking for some reason, one way or another, in the American market, there must be more people in the industry who are good at this, and they're going to be hired by Nintendo of America for ease of access reasons, and then kind of be transferred to Nintendo, or their job is going to be working.
They can work remotely. It's not like, you know what I mean?
Or yeah, that too as well. I mean, that the remote work. Maybe we're kind of thinking more into it too far, and maybe Nintendo of America is just like literally posting this job because it's America, and they're looking for somebody in America, not in Japan.
I mean, I don't know. It is interesting that it's Nintendo of America doing it, though. I thought that too, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, what else are they hired for? You know what I mean? Like, do they have some weird machine at Nintendo of America that has a bunch of AI in it? It's like, we need this guy to come sit by this machine and make sure it does what it's supposed to do. It's very low powered, but we need an expert to come hang out with it, talk to it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Kind of crazy. And you know what else is kind of crazy, Drip? Again, this jam-packed show. Like every topic we had tonight could be its own headline topic, but here we go again. Apparently, back in 2022, it sounds like December, Activision had a meeting with the Nintendo president about the Switch 2. And it kind of confirms that the next system is going to have physical hardware that most accurately can be compared to an Xbox One or PlayStation 4, which is something that you and I have been saying for a long time. Even when the article started saying PS5 graphics, I saw through that, because how do you think they're achieving this? Here's a puzzle piece, Strip. We just talked about Nintendo.
We talked about the same exact thing last week, yeah.
Right, and what we just talked about a second ago in our last segment, in talking about DLSS that are hiring for machine learning.
Yeah.
Put the puzzle pieces together, guys. The system is going to power-wise so it can be affordable and not burn your hands off like we talked about last week, and not be chunky and expensive. For all those reasons, it's going to have less power, more accurately, like a PS1, older technology. That's what Nintendo does. PS4, same thing. And that's going to make it cheaper, lighter, and you know, it's technology that's been established. With combination with DLSS, that's hard for a dyslexic, man. It's all that stuff, all the puzzles. Pick up the pieces, put them together, man. That we're seeing, that's it's gonna perform like a PS5, probably.
Yeah,
but it's not gonna have that kind of specs natively inside of it.
No, it's not. But you know what I thought about today, and this is all very awesome, because like, again, we've been saying, yeah, it sounds like, you know, everybody keeps saying this. That's how they're going to get, you know, with whatever happened with the PS5. Looks like a PS5, this, that, everything's running great. My question is this, because I have a Steam Deck, and I would say it's pretty comparable to PS4, Xbox One. The battery life on that is garbage.
On the Steam Deck?
What are they going to do What are they going to do with the new Switch for battery life? I mean, I'm sure whatever NVIDIA has made, whatever is taking the place of the Tegra chip.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's great, but I mean, I feel like that's still kind of an issue if you're pushing even the power of a PS4, right?
That's going to be an issue. I feel like Nintendo is prepared for it, though. I mean, it sounds like they've been preparing for it for a while now. And I talked about in the past where battery technology is the hardest thing to get around because it's the slowest of developing of most technologies. You know, that's a statement I made that's not exactly true there. What I mean to say is that battery technology is slower.
It's not keeping up with what the batteries need to operate.
Exactly. That's what I meant to say. So I don't know I don't know, but I do know Nintendo probably has a good idea. I mean, look at what they did just in a couple years. From the original Switch over to the V2 Switch. Okay, they basically doubled the battery life with slightly upgraded internals, which is kind of insane. And software, and like that's insane. So that should tell you right there, if they can basically double, I mean, let's just say 30% improvement. I don't know. What I do know is like Breath of the Wild went from 2 to 3 hours to like 4 to 6 or something like that, right? So that's a big improvement. If they can do that in the same generation, I think they can take Xbox One, PS4 hardware and make that probably at least on par with the V2 Switch, because I know the OLED actually gets a little bit better battery life than the V2, if I'm not mistaken. Just slightly, like just very
they're
slight.
very, very close though. It's not even really something you can.
Right. So my guess is maybe it's something more closer to like the V2 Switch, or maybe it's in between the V1 and V2 and battery. I don't know. Maybe we can expect.
I mean, I don't even know why we haven't thought about that until. I haven't thought about that really till today. Mm-hmm. I'm sure other people probably have. I haven't, because I was sitting there playing my Steam Deck actually, and I was using xCloud, so I'm streaming. Mm-hmm. So the battery does great when you do that. If you're not running a game, like an actual game on it, the battery life's great. It lasts forever. But man, right now that thing's like my Red Dead Redemption 2 machine. That's like all I play on it when I play actual games. But man, it's like if it's not plugged in, it's like an hour and a half. Maybe.
Right.
If I'm lucky.
Right. I guess I'm being more hopeful than anything. I kind of hope for like Switch V2 battery life, but you know, our buddy Switch Corner again is much more knowledgeable on most things, including at least I speak for myself, Drip. I'm not going to speak for you, but he's a lot more knowledgeable on a lot of stuff, including gaming. And here he goes and says the deck has the power of PS4 and with an 800p screen, which is slightly better than 720p, not even 1080p, just slightly better than 720. It only gets, you know, what you just said, Drip, like like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I mean, that's about what it is. And
so that's interesting to note. I think that the next Switch is going to have a 720p screen again. I really do think. Not because it sounds bad to say it out loud, especially in this day and age, where we have 4K screens, get 8K screens on the horizon, like as far as TV is concerned. But for a screen that size, I really think, and the OLED is the perfect example of this. Screen that size, 720p it's more than acceptable. It's preferred actually for battery life reasons. So while it's only 800p, that is still more pixels, a lot more pixels than 720p. That's a lot. 80 times what? A bunch, right? Because it's not just 80 pixels more. It's like 80 times. It's the grid.
Oh,
it's on the grid.
Know.
So there's that's still significantly more pixels than 720p. So if they can get it 720p, keep the screen size not crazy big, which again, the rumors were like, yeah, man, 4K screen with 10 inches or whatever. Like I'm like, whatever the crazy rumors were.
So, you know, the newer rumors are saying that it's not an OLED. It's a
right. Yeah, LCD.
LCD,
which is not going to help the battery life.
I don't know. I mean, I think that should be the biggest. Like, we know what this thing is now. This is cool. That's awesome. We know it's going to have the power. We basically know it's going to have the DLSS to make it look, and you know, what comes to our eyes will look like PS5.
Right.
That's cool. Now I think that should be the top concern, is how long is the battery going to last on this thing? Ooh, and how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost?
I don't know.
I don't think they'll go like $500, but
no, they can't compete with that. They just can't do that. They know their role and they know where they need to be. And I think the max they can be is 400. And I'm kind of leaning toward that. And hearing PS4 graphics inside a console with DLSS, that just sounds expensive to me. But I know Nintendo knows they can't go any higher than 400. They just can't do that.
I mean, I agree.
Unless they're doing
I do agree with that. 400 is like the cap.
Unless they're doing a tier system like a Steam Deck. What if they're copying the Steam Deck model? And
I don't think they'll do that.
Because if you guys didn't know, the Steam Deck has like 3 price ranges,
3 of them,
with different specs on each. The cheapest one being about 400. And then
that's the one I got because it doesn't have an SSD. But honestly,
and the screen's different. There's not a coating on it.
On the very, I think it's the very top one. You get that different screen.
Yeah,
the most expensive one.
I really, unless there's a tier system, I really don't think they can go any higher than 400. But at the same time, Drip, I feel like a tier system might be the way to go because of how expensive this can be. It might behoove them to go, you know what? We're gonna have a model that's replacing our OLED. That's gonna be $350. Goodbye OLED. Oh, well, first of all, goodbye all the old Switches. Hello to this new system, to our new Switch 2, Super Switch, hopefully. That's another leak. We didn't get it. We should talk about it real fast, but hold on. Let me just finish my thought. What they should do.
We haven't done the sponsor spot yet.
No, we haven't. There's too much to talk about tonight. So yeah, what was I saying about the crap? The tiers.
The tier system.
They should do like a 350, a 450, and a 550. I think that'd be that's where they should go because
I don't want to pay $550.
You don't have to pay $550. You pay $350.
But I do have to. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do.
You kind of do.
I don't have that choice.
I mean, unless your bank account doesn't have that much money in it. I mean, there's that too. That's my problem.
I'm gonna start selling stuff, man.
Yeah. But I think that's the best way to go because they don't want to miss out on all the features because they want to be attractive to the people who love power, but they also have to hit a price point. They just got to. So to hit that price, and it could the Steam Deck. If you're getting the cheapest Steam Deck, you're not missing out on any power. It's not at all has to do with power. It's just like added niceties. For example, the SSD, like you said,
SSD
has faster storage. That means when you're playing games, your boot times and your load times are slower, or are faster. You pay a little bit more.
Video. That's why I got the one I got.
And storage. Don't forget about that. The Switch came out with 32 gigs, and the OLED had 64. They could blow our minds and go. The 350 Switch Super Switch has 256 gigabytes. The middle tier has a terabyte, and the next one has 2 terabytes. I don't know. I'm making that up. I'm being hopeful again, but I'm just saying.
I feel like whatever this is has to have. It's got to have 500. Gigabytes at least.
Yeah, they got it. It has to hit a price point. That's for sure. It has to hit a price point, but it also needs to be a serious upgrade. And I think they want to give people options. People have been asking. That's one of the things that they're looking at. What fans are looking for. People want options. That's why they came out with the Switch Lite later. The V2 came out quickly. The OLED came out. People like the options. So why not just give us the options off the bat? And there's still room down the road for another revision. But I think the Steam Deck model is a smart one for them to go. I don't think they're going to do that, but it's a smart one for them to choose.
I don't really see them doing tiers like that. I see more maybe they just keep the OLED around, like, especially if it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they do the games going forward after that. Are they gonna be on both for a while? Are they? You know what I mean? There's so many questions with what this thing's going to be. I wish they would just announce the damn thing. I just want to know.
Well, there's 2 more leaks that just popped in my mind that we're not getting to. The one was, I'll just mention, somebody, I think maybe it was Zach, posted a video saying that November might be the day. I didn't even get to watch the full video. I just was too busy, but I watched some of it and heard that. So
November? I haven't seen
November
that yet.
Might be.
I haven't seen anything
I think
about
next week we'll probably touch on that particular thing more. And this other thing we're going to touch on more next week as well, but I'm going to bring it up. Apparently, there's a YouTuber who kind of looked at the footage of Paper Mario Thousand Door.
I did see
and the
that.
other video, I forget what other game it was, and saw that basically the button prompts had particular colors and it matched between the trailers, but it didn't make any sense to the Switch because, so like A, for example, was green. It was the colors of the Super Nintendo. They figured out that the colors that they're using on the button prompts were the Super Nintendo, and they compared it to the original trailers back in the day of $1,000 Door, and they saw that those colors were not there. What did I say?
$1,000 Door.
$1,000 Door. We're just talking about money. I'm sorry. 1,000-year door.
awesome.
In the original
$1,000 door.
in the original trailer and game, those button prompts were just gray. They were not colored. So they basically they intentionally colored the button prompts to be those colors.
That part is actually very interesting.
It matches the other trailer, which again I don't remember off the top of my head. But in that same in the direct, another trailer had the same. Was it? Oh, it was RPG, Mario RPG. The same button prompts for A and everything had the same Super Nintendo color scheme.
That is actually
very interesting, which could possibly mean that we're getting the Super Switch. That could be the name. And I'm really,
I don't know.
Really
but
happy
I'll
about
tell you
that.
this. I do want to talk about that. I saw that earlier, and I actually meant to tell you that when I called you earlier.
Yeah.
And talk about this. I don't know why they don't have, being who they are, being the family gaming company they are, I feel like that is something that they should have had the entire time. Color-coded buttons, because just for instance, my 4-year-old, she can't read, but she knows her colors.
Yep.
If there's a color there and it's like press red, she's going to say, yep, got it. Because I'm like, hey, press A. She's like, which one is that? I'm like, that one. This is an A right there. Now you know. We're teaching letters with our game playing.
Again, thought that was super interesting. We'll cover it better next week, hopefully, and I'll include who said it. I can't remember. There was a YouTuber, can't remember who it was, and who I watched the video, saw this all from. But yeah, very interesting. I am also pulling for that name, Full Metal. I would lose my mind if it was the Super Switch, because that's my favorite name. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
all the names we've seen, that's my favorite one. It makes sense too. NES,
well,
Super,
yeah,
Super NES.
If it is what it
Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
it just makes sense, man.
If it is what it's supposed to be, that's literally what it is. It is a Super Switch.
Do you know what else makes a ton of sense, Drip?
Yes. No, tell me.
Leaf and Bed Gardening Coaching Consulting Partner. Drip, you and I spend a ton of time looking at our screens. We're big gamers. We do that all the time. We make content on the internet. We're making a podcast. We're looking at screens. But sometimes it's kind of nice to get out and touch some grass. Whether you're in a college dorm, an apartment, or your own home, you may have thought about adding some greenery to spice up your space inside your house, or even your backyard if it's kind of empty. Maybe adding some plants, some fruits, some veggies out there. It's possible you've thought about it. But searching for that information can be a hassle and can take a long time. And it doesn't necessarily tell you what you're going to need for your own personal space. So you may have put it off. You just said, I don't need any of that stuff. I'll just kind of deal with my non-fun living area. Well, get off with a better start and save yourself some time by working with Leaf and Bed. Leaf and Bed offers coaching sessions that can teach you a new gardening skill and maintain what you have or what you want to get. They offer consultations to plan and design your projects projects with your gardening partner. Customer service available for unique projects and ideas for those particular projects that need that extra spice and love and pun intended, pun unintended. Those projects need that extra spice. That you can get some custom services available with that. Drip, I know you've had a couple sessions with Leaf and Bed, and I do believe you have some more reporting to do with those sessions.
Yeah. Oh, there's more. Maybe tomorrow, actually, because today I repotted this.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
What
is that,
now?
Drip?
Pothos. It's a pothos, I think, is what it's called. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened here.
Sure.
This thing was in a pot from a long time ago. A long time ago. It's probably been in that same pot since since my first kid was born. A long time. So today, we got on a video call. We went outside and we actually repotted this together. I basically got coached through it all, made sure everything was done perfectly. And we found out some things about this plant that I thought were very interesting. I wanted to share. You see these things hanging off here? Do you see how there's not leaves?
Yeah, I do
the very
see
end?
That. Yeah.
So I had some of those that were very,
stem without
very,
any leaves.
Yeah. So I had some of those that were very, very long, and they only had like one little leaf on the end. And I asked why that is, and I found out today, Geeb, that it's because they grow and don't have leaves on them because they are searching for light. So now I know that when I put this plant back upstairs, it needs to be in a place with better light. That's what I learned today. Tomorrow, I have something coming tomorrow where I'm actually going to put these so they don't hang anymore. We're going to let it climb. I have a little thing to go in there, and I think we're going to do another call tomorrow to make sure I don't screw this up whenever I'm connecting it to the little thing to help it climb. It's going to be great. It's been honestly, it's been awesome. I've learned a lot more stuff too. I get emails afterwards that kind of go over everything we did and all the ideas we talked about.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Drip,
it really is wonderful.
Let's put you on a spot here, Drip. From your experience, based off your experience with leaf in bed, just somebody who doesn't even have plants, why would they even want to get plants? Because I know you've had plants before we ever had this sponsor. So like, why do you want plants in your house, and how can leaf in bed kind of help you with that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just a hobby, man. I don't really know. They do put out oxygen.
They do that, yeah.
They give you better air to breathe. I don't know. That is kind of an on the spot thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
because they're fun. They're just fun.
Yeah, and okay. I think my better answer for next week, but I think I put you on the spot there. You guys can schedule a virtual consultation to answer your questions, discuss your goals for as little as $28 a month at www.leafandbed.com. That is www.leafandbed.com. You can mention the Drip G podcast and get 20% off your order, just whether that's on by phone or ordering on their website. But again, mention the podcast, you get 20% off your consultation. And yeah, thank you Leaf and Bed for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes.
Drip.
Oh man.
Drip.
Oh man.
I don't even, dude, we've had a long episode as it is. I think we've already passed, I think we're about the 45-minute mark right now or something like that. I don't know exactly. But I do know this. This next part of the podcast is massive. This might be we've done podcasts where there's been leaks. We've seen leaks. We've done our many episodes on Switch 2 leaks, game leaks, stuff, all sorts of stuff. This is, without a doubt, the biggest leak to come out of gaming ever.
It's huge, man. It's massive.
I can't think of anything else to ever leak as big as this.
This is huge. I mean, there's been a couple really big ones.
The funniest part about the amount of credible information that was private and now is public is just massive.
The funniest part is they put it out themselves.
Oh my God.
They accidentally did it themselves.
And we'll get to that
I don't know
first.
exactly how this happened, but
yeah, me either.
I couldn't find an actual straight answer to this question, but I guess they were supposed to put this stuff in a place for the courts to use that was like a private folder, right?
Yep.
That stuff was only to be used like in the courtroom.
Yep.
Or something. But they put it in the other file that was things that were going to be public document. So they made all this stuff public document.
They're clicking and dragging on Google Drive or Dropbox, and they're like,
and it's not,
and they just hover over the wrong box on the screen.
Oh my God! And it's not like it's just a list. It's not like it's just a bunch of lists of stuff. There are actual renders, artwork. Clearly stuff that they were going to use for marketing to show what this is. I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Specs. Artwork, renders, specs of the device.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't know why you were cutting out.
Yeah, I don't know. It cocould be my personality. I don't know.
I don't know. I couldn't hear you. But yeah, that's something I do want to talk before we get to the Nintendo part of this. Don't you find it weird that they're going to charge the same price next year for the Xbox? What is it? I don't know. It's the new Series X that's shaped like the trash can.
It's not more money.
It's not more money, but it doesn't have a disk drive.
Yeah, but it also has twice the storage.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like that's the point where they're like, yeah,
I love that. That's the third thing you want to talk about. The fact that the price.
I just think that's weird that it's the same price. Dude, I figured that'd be like, oh no, it's going to be $50 cheaper.
Well, I will say this.
That's normally what they do with these things when they do the little refresh thing.
I will say this. It is weird to me that it's not a little bit cheaper in general. Not because there's no disk drive in it, but just in general, it should be a little bit cheaper. Dude, there's this is such a massive thing. I don't even want to begin to dwell because we're also not an Xbox podcast. So
right.
I don't really want to dwell on that in particular, although I agree it's a little fishy and weird. I think it's important.
I like it.
It's important to note that in one of the leaks in particular, the list of games that was the outlook of Microsoft and Nintendo and Bethesda and everything like that for the next few years. It appears that list was made around 2021, maybe 2020, based off of the initial release dates that some of these games had. Like, for example, Starfield was on this leak. And Starfield was apparently originally scheduled to come out in 2022, but now here in 2023, we already know it came out here in late 2023.
I think it had a date.
So all this information,
several of them.
While it's crazy we have it and there's a lot of great stuff we didn't know about, it is important to note that a lot of this possibly isn't, not that's not true, it's all very true, but it's not all necessarily going to come true. This is more of an outlook of the company, not here's our exact what is happening. It's more of here are our plans of what's going to be happening within the company. Not, so that it's important to mention that in particular. Okay.
I mean, they've got like that new Doom game. What's it called? Doom something, Zero something. I can't remember the name. Like, that's happening. There's a bunch of other games like they're going to happen. Like, I don't know about the dates. The dates could move obviously because development, this and that. There was even a handheld mentioned in that.
Yes.
Did you see that?
I did see the handheld, yeah.
Not a lot of people talking about that part of it, but it looks like that part is not something that they are really focusing on right now.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I wonder if they'll do the same thing, like make it a cloud machine. Maybe run something like what PlayStation is doing, but only probably for xCloud.
Right.
So it'll work with other things. That's interesting. I don't know. I think they'd be way too late on that at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they don't put Game Pass on the Steam Deck. That's why you can't get it there.
Showing you the visual people here, the visual audience. I'm showing you guys some screenshots here of Good Vibes Gaming's video. So I put their link down below, sourcing that. But yeah, I mean, here's some. Dude, there's a new controller. There's a new system. There is a litany of games. There are personal emails, which we'll get to in a second, Drip.
Yeah.
But the
controller looks cool.
The outlook is from 2021 or I think it's 2022 to all the way to 2028. Or excuse me, 2030. That's what I meant to say. 2030. Yeah. 8 years. That is 8 years of outlook of the company just leaked with details. I mean, here's the control. This is the controller. It's Xbox Wireless 2, direct to cloud, 5.2 Bluetooth, mobile app compatibility. Man,
it's got
precision
a lot of stuff.
haptic feedback. There's haptic feedback in Xbox controller, accelerometer, gyro. That means, guys, gyro and Xbox controller, quieter buttons and sticks. Apparently the haptic feedback doubles as a speaker, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Rechargeable batteries in Xbox controller, new thumbsticks that are modular, and they're all. I guess it doesn't say Hall effect, but we can assume lift to wake feature. I mean, this is not a small leak. If we would have saw a leak that rumors the next Xbox controller will have an accelerometer and modular thumbsticks. That's a leak right there. We can typically see. Right?
Yeah.
That's a normal everyday leak we can see. This is no. Here's the graphic with every bit of information you can want to know about the next Xbox controller. And this is just it's just the controller. We also have the freaking next system has its own leak. And I just can't dude, I'm gushing over this. I cannot believe the size of this leak. It's just massive.
It's nuts, man.
It has nothing to do with Nintendo until we get to the personal email side of things. And Phil Schiller had his personal emails leaked within this thing, which makes it even more crazy that they leaked this accidentally. Because it's like, dude, there's personal emails in here too that you just leaked. But I wish I actually had the emails pulled up in front of me. I don't. But basically, Phil Schiller, the CEO.
Spencer.
Oh my God, Schiller. Who the hell is Schiller?
I have no idea.
Phil Spencer.
I don't know that guy.
Someone tell me who Phil Schiller is. I don't know why I'm saying that person's name. I'm sure he's a real person. Maybe. I don't know.
I wonder if he is a real person.
Phil Spencer.
You probably know him from high school.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. Phil.
Phil. Oh, Philly Phil.
Yeah, I remember him.
Phil Spencer had his personal emails leaked. And I'm quickly trying to find the email here, and I wish I would have had it pulled up for you guys ready. But basically, it's a long email. We'll get to the meat and potatoes of the email and why it's notable and why it's the headline of this podcast. Dude, he said in the email that it would be one of his not quoting exactly because I don't want. I'm not. This is just a paraphrasing. It would be one of his most notable career achievements if he were able to be purchased. If Microsoft was able to purchase Nintendo under his leadership, that'd be one of his career milestones. And not only he went on to say it more that Nintendo would be foolish to think that being purchased by Microsoft would not benefit them as a company, and that the future of Nintendo games exist off of their own hardware. Wow. Just wow. Again, that's paraphrasing.
I just sent you a link to the thing there.
Thank you.
It's in the Discord.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is like, it's insane. It's the one part here. It's the very end. At some point, getting Nintendo would be a career. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Believe it would be a good move for both companies. And I talked about this in a video the day all this came out.
Yeah. And you and I had talked on the phone before you made that video.
Oh, yeah. This is just the arrogance. And this isn't the first time. That's the thing. Looking back on it, this is from August 2020. That's when this email was sent out. So this is a while ago. But the stories we heard even before this, when Xbox tried to... They've tried to buy Nintendo several times. The last time, the story is that they literally got laughed out of the room. Like literally laughed out of the room. I mean, I don't know. The arrogance of saying that, oh yeah, honestly, it's a good move for both companies. Like that could not be further from the truth. I mean, if he actually thinks that's good for Nintendo to go, it's crazy just seeing this stuff written the way it's written. Again, not good for Nintendo. Great for Xbox. It'd be huge. I mean, they get Mario. They get like the best IPs in gaming.
Dude.
They get Mario. They get Zelda.
They get every Nintendo prop. Well, again, I think you and I talked about this on the phone as well.
Yeah, we did.
That like I think that if this was even a remote possibility, which it's not, but if it was, Nintendo would still be smart enough to know that they're not going to just give Microsoft Mario. They're going to make sure that the deal is it's going to be if it were to happen, it would take years, maybe decades to happen, probably just years. But because of how complicated the deal would be, because Nintendo is going to hold on to Mario, they're going to hold on to their main IPs as far as their ownership of it. It might end up being more a licensing thing. If anything. I don't think that's how this would work. I don't think they'd be able to do that. Microsoft
they would be absorbed by Microsoft. They don't get anything. They would just be there.
That's what Microsoft wants. What I'm saying, this is all fake. It's never gonna. Not fake. It's not that it's fake. This is a real email, but it's all fake news, if you will. It's not gonna happen. There's no way Nintendo would do it.
There's no way.
Hypothetically,
not right now.
I'm saying hypothetically, if Nintendo was stupid enough to do this, they still would have the smarts to go. You get Mario, but as a license, you don't get Mario. We're not selling you Mario unless you want to give us a good bajillion dollars, which Microsoft has, but they're not. I think Nintendo would go, if we're willing to sell, here's our price. And it would be such a huge price tag, it'd be like quadruple what they're worth. And then on top of that, there'd be licensing fees for Mario and stuff. I'm saying that it would be so complicated.
I don't think they'd do that.
It would be so complicated.
They'd do that. I don't even think they'd put a price out there because Microsoft would be like, yeah, we got it. Bring in the trucks. Let's do it. Like, there's no way. It's never going to happen. And especially right now, I talked about this in the video, but like right now, let's just look at what Nintendo has done just now in the Switch era. The Switch is killing it. All the games are killing it. Like hardware, software, on fire. They're about to put out a new system that's probably going to be on fire again. They've got theme parks. They've got movies. Yeah. They've got No. I mean, I mentioned this in the video too. Did you watch the Halo show on Paramount Plus or whatever it's on?
I tried.
It was hot garbage.
Dude, I was excited for it because I grew up a Halo fan.
I was too. I didn't even like Halo that much. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it a lot. It was terrible. Yeah. It was just bad.
It was. And yeah, we didn't get to that yet. Like the movie stuff, Nintendo would. Actually, I want to bring up this comment, Shippy. Shibby, our good friend. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, Shibby. That Shibby said in our comment section a second ago, I feel like it would be a good time for Nintendo to sell if they wanted, which Shibby, again, no offense, or not again, but no offense, Shibby, you're very wrong. This would be a terrible time for Nintendo to sell because
if they wanted to sell,
hold on, let me say this because I think it's a terrible time to sell if they wanted to right now because of this. They're just in the infancy of starting their movie Goliath. They're gonna have
it's gonna be worth.
It's gonna be worth triple their gaming stuff at some point.
I don't know about that.
I'm making numbers up, dude. I don't know the numbers. I'm just making it up. I mean, I'm trying to add emphasis to the fact that movie stuff is going to be extremely profitable and very valuable, and it's not yet. Why would you sell your asset like that at such a low point? It just began. It's gonna be, it's gonna go crazy. Look at the records at Broken Tide. It's going to be nuts. To sell right now would be crazy.
Right. I know. I agree.
With that alone, let alone this new system hasn't even come out yet. Wait till the new system comes out.
And this is all just for fun. Like obviously this isn't happening.
Obviously.
But if they wanted to sell, I mean, right now it wouldn't be the worst time if they were interested in selling, because I mean they could literally. They could show like, okay, we just did this. We know what we're projecting going forward. We know what this is going to make. We know what we're worth. They are on a high right now. So let's just say if they did, for some reason, want to get out of whatever they're doing.
If for some reason Nintendo said, you know what, I don't know if it's going to work.
You know what, we're done. I think it's good. But now would be a pretty good time to do it. They're not going to. Let's just be very clear about that. They are not going to. But I'm sure they could set something sweet up where they could get stupid amounts of money right now. Especially right now, just because they're on such a high.
Yeah, I want to clarify because in the comment section, it was brought up that technically Shibby is right, which in terms of the stock, right? Like Nintendo's stock is at a peak right now.
Yeah.
And to sell the company at the peak of the stock is a smart decision.
Yes.
Stock wise, that's a solid solid.
I mean they're high. Yeah, they're hot right now.
Yeah,
you're gonna get more money while they're hot. That's it.
But that would mean that. But that would in order to sell it means that you're interested in giving up on it, right? And that's the part of information that's why I think Nintendo's not interested in selling right now.
No, they're absolutely not.
And because they know
Microsoft has come to them 2 or 3 times trying to buy them, even when they were like down. They were like no.
Yeah, no. Like they know that their stuff is only their movie stuff is only budding right now, and the new system's on the horizon, and it's going to be a really big success. They know that stock is going to get higher but that's a gamble, right? If you're trying to sell your stocks, that means you're gambling because if I wait till this other stuff happens, that's a big potential that my stock could then fall, and now my assets are worth less. Yes, but in this case, Nintendo knows that if they play their cards right, which hopefully they are behind the scenes. The next thing they do is going to be very successful hardware-wise. The games are only going to get better from there. The IPs are going to grow from that. Not to mention the fact that they've only started one Mario movie, and there's going to be also spin-off movies within the franchise, within Mario, but also we probably think there's going to be a Zelda one. They're going to be a Goliath as far as a company. They're never going to touch Microsoft in terms of the company because Microsoft is crazy huge. We all know that. They own Windows. They're and many investment things that they do. They're crazy. They're never going to touch Nintendo, and Nintendo's never going to touch them.
No,
however,
no.
from the standpoint of what Nintendo does, Microsoft can never touch Nintendo. Never.
No, I mean
for what Nintendo
the software they develop. I mean, they have the best. They have the best IPs. They do.
Yes.
I mean that's not me being a Nintendo fan. That's literally that is what it is. I mean.
That's why Microsoft wants to buy
IPs.
That's why Microsoft wants to buy Nintendo because Microsoft knows they can never compete with that. That's why they want to buy them.
Yes, yes, obviously. That's why they buy everything they buy.
And that's exactly
why literally everything.
And that's exactly why
fucking Call of Duty.
And that's exactly why Nintendo's not for sale. Because they know that they're the best at what they do, and no amount of money is going to say otherwise. They're profitable. That's what they care about, is the profit, not can we be the biggest conglomerate of all time. And that's Microsoft's priority, is to just be the biggest conglomerate. Is that even the right word? Is to be the biggest company they can possibly be, buy everybody up who's small, because we only care about power and money. Not just money, but power. Nintendo's like, we're not really interested in being powerful. We're just trying to be the best at what we do. And that's why they're successful. Xbox, Microsoft should take notes from Nintendo. But instead, Microsoft's going profit, 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 profit. We want all the profit. And Shibi, again, earlier in the comments section, said, should they even be allowed to do it? It was already a question with Activision, right?
Activision.
Can you
Blizzard,
imagine?
yeah.
Can you imagine if they even accept a Nintendo merger?
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft's already a monopoly, but talk about.
No, yeah.
Monopoly.
At that point, it's like, all right, now. You're not taking. You're not. It would be a whole different thing. And again, in case you're just jumping in, this is all just hypothetical conversation. This obviously is not happening.
Right.
But you're not taking a developer at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not Activision Blizzard. That was huge. Obviously huge.
Yeah.
I mean, them getting Bethesda was big. But this is literally taking out one of the big three and just absorbing them.
Yep.
This is a whole different thing. I don't even know if this would be something that would go through.
It probably wouldn't, because it would be. I don't know, because listen, big mergers happen all the time. I mean, look at the top lists of companies who are, you know, the top companies. Like I don't know what the list is called, but basically what I'm saying is, like, look at Disney, look at Amazon, look at Microsoft, look at Apple. Like, look at these companies. Where's their competition? You know where their competition is?
They've bought it all.
They've bought it all. They did exist at one point, but they now just become. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one of the biggest ones. Google, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Google. Look at all these. Look at all these companies.
We had a whole podcast about that.
Yeah. Look at all these companies, and look, where's their competition? Look at their competition. Oh wait,
they're gone.
They're gone. There is no competition. So, like, we've already.
Microsoft has done this too.
In my opinion, we've already gone too far in the world. We've already gone too far. Like, to think that to think that Nintendo is going to be bought by Microsoft is that the question? That question, is that too far? In my opinion, we've already gone too far. If we've gotten that far, we're already crumbling. We're already crumbling society at that point. If we have to ask that question, if that's actually a possibility, reality at some point, we've already crumbled. It's not a question of, is that morally right? Should it happen? The question should then be, where are we moving to? Because this is fucked. Mars?
Mars. The moon.
Elon, take us to Mars.
We're going to the moon.
Speaking of terrible people who are doing terrible things with their money. Rest in peace, Twitter.
He's going to the moon.
Rest in peace, Twitter.
He's going to the moon.
It's like, where are we going?
To the moon.
I vote we go to the depths of hell, because that's where we're all going to end up going anyway. And with that, Drip.
It's time for bed, right?
It's time for bed. No, it's time for the after show, Drip. It's not time for bed. It's time for the after show.
Night.
No, it's the after show time. You guys in the stream, if you're hanging out, we're going to be talking to you guys for a little bit longer. If you guys are listening on the audio side of things, we're going to sign off for now. This has been long enough. I have no idea how long this episode is. It's probably a very long one. But appreciate you guys hanging out for that. Stick around for the after show, people in the stream, but you guys on the audio side of things, we'll see you guys next week.
Night.